Brighton Techno in Brighton Techno scene.
Any scene in Brighton?
Night, TOTL. We are all excited. It will be fucking amazing.
Lineup is MRJ back to back, M-X, and then DSD, then Liscano, and then I'm closing.
So one of the most important things when you run a night or an event is kind of fostering that sense of belonging. I'm Harlow. I'm a producer, artist and curator for Search Party, and Search Party is the events company that I run here at Brighton. What got me into it is just a love for music and wanting to be involved in something that was kind of an extension of my music taste and what I'm into. One of the reasons I started Search Party was because I wanted to build a platform for local DJs who were not really given that opportunity to play in some of the clubs around here or be able to showcase some of their talent.
I'm Jack Jeffrey. I'm a DJ and promoter and producer based in Brighton from Kilmarnock, Scotland. I would say my sound style as an artist is just characterised by lots of energy and lots of euphoria. I want people to feel a sense of like intense joy when they listen to my music, combined with the darkness of the hard techno sound. TOTL started because myself and other members of the collective felt like we had something to contribute to the local scene and felt like we wanted to bring the kind of more European or Northern UK rave sound to Brighton, and so we wanted to have an outlet for people where they could come and enjoy that sort of thing, because I know we did as well. And then around the whole concept is sort of based on the personalities of the people in the collective. So we have the art side of things, which is done by Matthew for making the logo and stuff like that. It was just kind of perfect to have me on board with this, and having the kind of experience of being able to paint and be able to do interesting marks and iconography for TOTL for the collective just kind of fell hand in hand with what I was doing in my life, and it just felt very natural to implement my art into it rather than outsourcing it and going to somewhere else. We want to keep it quite authentic and what we like as a style created through someone in the collective.
When Matthew would be painting, we would be like mixing techno and stuff, and it feels like the vibe of your paintings and like the kind of darkness of the music kind of like goes well really together.
TOTL stands for Top of the Lane, and the top of the lane is where one of the members of the collective, Max, has his garage, and in Kilmarnock we all used to just sit and mix in that garage and listen to techno, and it's where we all sort of found our love for it. From the top of the lane to down here, we wanted to sort of translate that safe kind of community space that we all had in Kilmarnock with a reliable place to go and listen to that sort of music. We wanted to give that to Brighton.
Hi, I'm Spinks. I am a DJ and promoter based here in Brighton. A lot of the techno that I play is quite groovy, and you'll hear like samples of like 90s house vocals. It's quite punchy and bouncy. And I try and bring something different or unique to every set. Aeon I started with my partner, Diego. We started Aeon because we wanted to have a space within Brighton that was dedicated space for queer people to go out and enjoy dance music, and that was safe, that platformed artists that our crowd can relate to.
Brighton as a place is very diverse and has a lot of people from a lot of different communities, and so each individual techno night adds its own flair onto the scene and serves a little bit of a different part of the community, which all sort of come together to make the broader scene.
Within techno you've got so many like sub-genres of that, and there are different nights that kind of speak to those different things as well. So you kind of got your people that like hard groove, and then you've got hard techno and bochka, and then you've got like your kind of more old school like Berlin style techno as well. So there are kind of sub crowds within those in Brighton, but they all kind of like cross over as well, and people will go and support each other's events, or they'll go, you know, and try another event maybe more openly than they would in another city where there's more on offer for like the same kind of genre.
There's just not a huge amount of scenes in certain genres at the moment, so like we're still really working on the techno scene. The south has been really embedded with a lot of drum and bass, and other kind of subgenres of that. So that's a challenge in itself.
In Scotland, the techno is very intense and very, very loud and very fast, and there wasn't really any of that in Brighton. Like, not to the extent that, you know, we have to offer anyway. Like, there wasn't much of that techno at all being played in Brighton, but obviously we wanted to, you know, fill that gap in the market and like play that loud sound for everyone in Brighton to go to, like, because otherwise you would need to go to like London for that kind of like hard techno.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like bring it to Brighton.
But we just kind of wanted to implement our own sound into it. There wasn't much hard techno. A lot of it was just kind of like acidy and not hard, a lot more kind of like groovier, fun stuff.
Yeah.
And we wanted to bring like a really kind of dark, heavy.
The kind of northern sound.
No, if you go up north, you would get a lot of different sounds than you would in Brighton. So I think they differ in terms of pushing the boundaries, and I feel like, you know, underground electronic music scenes have boundaries that people push themselves to, and different areas push those boundaries further and further.
The biggest challenge that the Brighton techno scene faces, I would say, is how transient the city is, and the size of the city as well. It's just not very big. Even more so, to be fair, the lack of venues and proper space. I mean, there is a few different club spaces in Brighton that you can do techno nights in. Waterbear are really great to work with and are happy to have a lot of different techno nights.
If the pandemic showed us anything, it's that everything can just change like overnight. There's things like cost of living. A lot of people are going through neurodivergence awareness as well at the moment. A lot of the people that I know are being diagnosed with either autism or ADHD, and I think that a lot of club spaces aren't kind of built for people who maybe aren't neurotypical. So that definitely has an impact, and it's something that I'm trying to address in the kind of spaces that we offer.
As a promoter in Brighton, I think it's just difficult to scale again throughout the venues. You have a lot of smaller places that are like 100 to 150 cap, which are more than happy to accommodate little local nights, but then it jumps up to 450, 500 cap and plus, but they're internally promoted a lot of the time, and if they're externally promoted, you really need a lot of proof of concept and proof that you're actually going to be able to fill the place, which is difficult when the scene is starting out. And so there's not really a space between those sizes where you can build things up. It just sort of has to be local nights and then proof of concept, big investment and headliner. And I think trying to bridge that gap and break even doing it is just really difficult. So any of the bigger nights that have happened, they've gone down well, but they just have to be done carefully, and it's just not the sort of city yet where these things can be happening week in, week out.
I think Brighton is unique compared to other places because a lot of people that kind of come here to study music will stay because it is a very music focused city.
Brighton itself is one of those cities that people come to visit and have like a lot of hen parties, so it's a bit of a stopgap for people to come, stay a short period of time and then leave. So building a community around that or running nights around that can be a little bit challenging.
People come and go quite a lot, with it being a kind of uni town. It's kind of the holiday home of the UK, with it being on the beach, so people could have come here for a while and they don't stay for too long and actually be properly part of the scene. But in saying that, there is a lot of people who live here and who are permanent members.
I think like anybody here could probably just like go out to a night and make friends quite easily. Like Brighton crowds are super friendly and welcoming. Most of the time, if you go out to an event in Brighton, there's always going to be like, you know, approachable people there that you can talk to. You can always talk to me if not.
Since the spawn of like electronic music or underground music, techno in Detroit or even in Europe, you know, when it really kicked off, a lot of people wanted to be in a safe space. They could let themselves go and be free, and there was no prejudice, there was no you know, animosity between anyone. And that sense of belonging and being together, I mean, we saw it in the rave scene in the 90s in the UK. So important.
Especially for like the queer community, I think clubs historically have been one of the only places that we can actually truly be ourselves for a lot of people. You know, you've got people that are in the closet or people that are transitioning, and like in day-to-day society, you can't maybe be your true self or be like your fullest self. And nightlife spaces that are like specifically designed for people like us, they like allow you to be that without any kind of judgment or persecution.
As DJs and artists, we're putting ourselves out there on the night, but really the most important thing is the audience and the people that come to those events. You know, they're happy to come to the events, they want to have a great night and have that immersive experience, or, you know, that freeingness of the reality and the hardships of life, and they want to let loose in these types of environments.
I don't think people have to have any previous knowledge of techno to be part of the community at all. I think that's what we're here for. We're here to showcase people what techno has to offer. Lots of people come to our events solo, which I think is a pretty good indicator of the fact that you don't need to be some, you know, super social techno aficionado to come and have a place in our community. Anyone can come and feel accepted and safe.
And that's where the exciting thing comes as a promoter, is how do we replicate those types of requirements? Going into like our nights, especially with Search Party, it's about an acceptance. There is, you know, full freeness of love on the dance floor. There is the immersive atmosphere, low lighting, so people don't feel like they're being watched. There's care and understanding towards if someone's got a problem or if they're not feeling great. And then afterwards is showing how great a time they did have, so, you know, making them feel like they're part of something and part of the movement that really made a difference. And I think that's what feels like a really great night.
I feel like I want to create an environment through the door staff, through the attitude of the bar staff, through the music, the DJs and the people that are there, that it's an enjoyable place to be and a place that you want to go to again.
Our ethos is around like providing safe dance floors for queer people, so that's super important to us, and that we try and like echo throughout everything that we do, so that people are aware that that is always like a top priority for us.
To create a sense of belonging for people at TOTL events, I think we just try and provide a really good and cared for, meticulous experience.
Your event and your brand needs to kind of like stand for something so that it's recognizable and people feel safe with it and they can identify with it.
And so it's really important to us that every single person who comes to that event feels like it's a brand personified, and that person is someone that they actually want to speak to.
And Brighton is very small and intimate, and there's only a few techno nights that actually run, so you always see the same faces, and it's nice. It's like a nice tight community.
At any of the after parties or any of the other sort of events, you're always bumping into the same people, so there's a proper community feel to the city, which I think I'm really grateful for, because I know that anytime I play a set, there's going to be some people that I know there. My biggest influences on the scene are probably just my peers and the people around me. The people who are around me inspire me a lot with the music that they show me every day and the way that we all enjoy experiencing the music together. It like really motivates me and brings me a sense of purpose, being part of a community that feels like it enjoys this stuff as much as I do. So I think that's my kind of biggest influence and motivator.
Three words to describe the Brighton techno scene would be tenacious, passionate, and compact.
I think you've got to show people that you can consistently deliver like a good quality event that people are going to want to come back to. For promoters, like working with credible artists that can be consistent in what they deliver and be authentic is important.
Well, there's obviously lots of people in the DJ scene who are helping locally to bring people to these nights and show people what it's all about. People like Acid Carbon is obviously smashing it with a kind of more ravey sound. DSD, who's been around for a minute and is like the hardest working person I've ever met in my life. He contributes a lot. He runs his night Acid Reflux, he produces, he masters, he does visuals, he does a lot.
Any competition is good competition, and I feel like it's not even a competition about like that guy's better or that promoter's better or anything like that. Like, we're all trying to do our own thing in our own spaces, and we're trying to have the end goal, which is have a successful night. I think if anything, I kind of see it as an opportunity for us to kind of get together and try and like accomplish those goals that we both have.
Try and think of ways that we can build what is already a growing techno scene in Brighton as well, by working together rather than against each other.
There have been so many changes since I started promoting and since I started DJing in Brighton.
The main difference in the scene since I got to Brighton is it now actually exists, which is absolutely ideal. There's definitely a plethora of different nights.
I've seen promoters go, I've seen promoters change their sounds, change their image, and also have some new promoters that have come in or new DJs. It's an ever-changing environment.
So yeah, I think definitely like still being able to deliver like something I'm super passionate about to a crowd that I like would take a bullet for is like, yeah, it's the best feeling in the world.
Any advice I would give anyone trying to start events is don't give up, do it, we need you.
I think the role of community in Brighton's techno scene is absolutely massive. I think without it, Brighton wouldn't have a scene at all.